Imagine you're in your favorite restaurant with your family or a bar. You're enjoying your time, and someone walks in and creates a disturbance. They start yelling. And let's just say that person starts pushing the waitress. What would you do? Most of us would probably get up and intervene. Hold the person down, push him away, and protect that person who's being pushed. Now let's just say in that same scenario, someone walks in with a firearm and begins firing randomly into the restaurant. What would you do? If you have no firearm, you'd probably either hide or run. Now let's just say you're at church and that same scenario happens. If you have no firearm, you're vulnerable. Say you're walking down the street and someone steps out of a dark shadow with a knife. They tell you, give me your money or I'll kill you. Again, you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to that criminal. You're at a disadvantage. I'm here to persuade you why open carrying a firearm is beneficial to both you, your loved ones, and the general public. As a deputy sheriff, I have a lot of experience carrying open firearms, or open carrying firearms. I understand the responsibilities, the benefits, and how that firearm helps me deter and stop crime. I also am aware on how that firearm affects a criminal in the performance of my duties. If you have a gun visible, it's less likely that you will become a victim of a crime, according to Business Insider. I'm going to illustrate the problem of not being able to carry an open firearm will leave you vulnerable to becoming a victim of crime, murder, and so forth. A criminal's not going to target you if they know you're carrying a firearm. That's all a risk versus benefit type of scenario. If the risk is not worth the benefit in the criminal's mind, they'll find somewhere else to go. It's against the law to open carry a firearm in California. Crime stats in states that allow open carry are 23% lower than states that don't, according to PolitiFact.com. There's stigma to open carry that people are afraid of them due to lack of education or experience. It's known that criminals will target the easy targets, the people without firearms, the people who don't take the measures to protect themselves or their homes. Then there's a trend of mass shootings that's been increasing over the years, starting back from a university in Texas in 1966 all the way to today. But they're becoming more frequent, and there's no specific location that they happen. They're happening at schools, they happen at nightclubs, restaurants, schools, little elementary schools, churches, concerts. So there's nowhere you can go out in public without being at risk. Criminals will always obtain firearms, regardless of what the laws say, whether they're breaking into someone's home, whether they're obtaining them through the black market. And out of over 300 mass shootings that have happened in America, 59 of those shooters' guns were obtained illegally. Now that you understand the problem, let's explore the cause. People believe that making stricter gun laws will reduce crime and will make it harder for criminals to access firearms. Right now, today, approximately 393 million firearms are legally owned by citizens in the United States. Based on that number alone, it would be impossible for criminals to not find a firearm. If you go into some of the more ghetto areas, you could go and find a handgun, shotgun, rifle. It only pays $50 or $100 for it. And that's according to the Washington Post. Some people think that crime statistics are lower in open carry states because of the firearm, because they know people are carrying, and the likelihood of that crime being intervened is higher. They also believe that people feel that suicides and homicides may increase due to having more access to firearms. In my experience as a deputy sheriff, I've learned that when somebody wants to take their own life or another, they'll use whatever methods possible, whether it be a rope, a knife, a car, or even a gun. The end result will still be that person will be dead. So my solution to this is that we should allow open carry. One, because it's our right with the Second Amendment. Two, I believe it would have a positive effect on society. There's been a rise in mass shootings over the years, and they're going to continue to increase as time goes on, according to ABC News. There's a 100% chance that you're not going to become a victim if you're carrying a firearm. The stigma of open carrying firearms would change with the proper education and training. If people learned more about firearms and went through the training to be able to open carry a firearm, they'd have a better understanding and respect for it. I want to tell you a quick story where my firearm saved my life. On June 28th, 2018, I received a call for a man with a knife who was bleeding from the face. I found him and he found me. When I saw him, we instantly locked eyes. And he held up a large kitchen knife up above his head. I drew my handgun and I told him to drop the knife. He shook his head. He was about 40 feet away from me. I gave him several orders to drop the knife. He ran at me at a full sprint. As I moved back around the front end of my car, he was coming around the front end of my car. I had no option. I knew at that point in time, it was either shoot him or he's going to kill me. I shot him. And he stopped. My intent wasn't to kill him or wound him. My intent was to get him to stop. And as I came around the side of my vehicle, he looked up at me. We locked eyes again and he picked up the knife, but he couldn't get up. He survived. The most important thing is I survived. And I came home to my family. In conclusion, being able to open carry is not going to solve every crime. It's not going to prevent every crime. It's not going to prevent mass shootings. But just think about how many mass shootings could be prevented or at least stopped if open carrying was legal. I hope that I persuaded you that open carrying a firearm is not scary. With proper education and training, I believe it would make a safer world for us all. And open carrying may prevent you or your loved ones from becoming a victim or even getting killed. I'd like to end with a quote. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. William LaPierre. Thank you.